The following program contains views that are not those of WVTC, iNetworks Communications, their subsidiaries, affiliates, or financial supporters.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Christians and friends. We thank and praise God for this, another glorious privilege to come into your home while you're riding along your automobiles, your various places of business, every hospital ward, every institution, to bring you Ramon Perry and According to Your Faith, the Gospel Show, emanating live and direct from the studios of WVTC, where we are streaming through ALSIP, through StreamYard. I am so glad to be back with you this week, and we certainly trust and pray that this hour with Jesus would give you strength to go forward in faith. We weren't with you on last week, but we're so glad to be back with you this week. We did a rebroadcast the last 2 weeks, and I want everybody everywhere to like and share this spiritual experience. Listen. I've got my sister here. I want to get her up on here right now. I've got Pastor Dora Scott. I want her to come on up. They can get her up on the screen. She was with me a couple of weeks ago, and I am just honored and privileged to have her back with me. Say hello to everybody, Pastor Scott.
Well, blessings be unto you. If you can hear me well, my friend, we pray that all is well in the Chicago land area. The Lord is blessing us, and we have nothing to complain about.
Absolutely. I ain't nobody gonna listen. No way. Listen, Pastor Scott is a dear friend of mine. She's my sister in the Lord, and we go back a ways. And she was on my show a couple of weeks ago. We were discussing some things, and we just kind of got right to it, and she had to leave. But I'm glad to have her back tonight. She's got another presentation in a little bit, but I want her to go ahead and reintroduce herself. Tell us where you're from. Tell us how you got started in ministry, Pastor Dora Scott.
Woo. Well, my friend, as you say, you are correct. We go way back. I think you've known a person a long time when you can't remember the actual date or the year that you met each other, but you have been a consistent friend down through the years, and we honor the Lord for your life. I am the founding pastor of the Word Restoration Ministries. We are located in the city of Detroit. That is our birthing place. We are just a few months shy of being 20 years old, and started from the ground up. And the Lord has been faithful. That's all I can say is the Lord has been faithful. I started in ministry at the tender age of 13 years old, born and raised in the Baptist church. That is where I was originally licensed and ordained. And from there, moving over to, I became introduced to the spiritual church and Church of God in Christ. And I honor the Lord for my late spiritual father, the Archbishop Arthur L. Posey, none like him. nowhere in the world. And it has been a tremendous journey. I am thankful to see the progression of women in ministry and saddened by those that are still stuck in whom God calls. But I don't fight about it. I believe whom the Lord calls, he qualifies. And there's just too much work in the kingdom to be done to spend time fighting about who was called and who wasn't. I don't have time. I'm not, my gender is what it is. I am a woman, and that is what the Lord called me to do. And those that have issues, well, that is their problem. I love them just the same. No change there at all. None at all.
Listen, I love it. You're unapologetically.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And when you said spiritual, you know, you rung my bell right there. You was coming
yes,
up my
sir.
street, wasn't you?
Yes, sir. A spirit never born is a spirit that never dies.
Never can. And you know why? Somebody said, well, how is that? I said, because God breathed into us the breath of life. And he was already existing. So we're a piece of him.
There.
So we can't die, but we can change. Come on, somebody. I love it. I love it. Listen, Pastor Scott. So let's go back. Let's go back to your church home. Before you do that, I want to acknowledge ourselves, Daryl Nichols, James Williams. I want you all to share. Pastor Scott is going to share something with us tonight. I want everybody that is listening, put this on your front page. I need you to share and like tonight. I want to see some more of my people. I want you all out here to support tonight. So, Pastor Scott, tell me your home church and what came about when you got your call to ministry, and how did that happen? I want to hear about that process. How did the Lord reach you?
Well, my home church is still my home church. That's New Jerusalem Temple Baptist Church here in the city of Detroit. Bishop L.J. London Sr. is still my pastor. And truth be told, if the Lord had not sent me on this assignment, that's where I'd still be. I served there for a number of years as youth pastor, working on staff as an associate minister. And I did not want to go. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm still trying to figure out what is the fascination that people have with pastoring, because it's hard work. It's a whole lot of labor. And I just don't get that. I mean, there's been, as the song would say, there's been a lot of tears and sorrow. We still have hope for tomorrow. So starting at 13, being denied access even to pulpits. I was invited to a church to minister or speak for the Women's Day, and the pastor said, well, you can speak, but you not. And I was okay. I ministered. I was very respectful. I was young in ministry. The downside to that is that one person could have driven me out of ministry for life. He could have driven me out of ministry absolutely for life. But I knew my call, and I stayed with it. There are so many things that I tell young women in ministry. We are not there to fight. We are not there to go off. We are not there to be bitter. We do not use that preaching platform time as a time bash or to be bitter or angry, but we are called to just minister the word, because we don't have time for that. We are the fragrance. We are the fragrance of the house. Remain in your femininity at all times, because that is who you are. And however the Lord has deemed you to deliver it that way, but never lose who you are. Still be gracious and grateful. And so I always try to do that wherever I go. Yes, I am an advocate for women in ministry, but I'm an advocate for ministry. And so I recognize the hurdles that are there, but I really don't have time at this stage in the game, a few months away from being 61. I really don't have time now to spend time fighting on that. I just want to make sure that when I deliver the word, that it is from a pure place. I tell women your call is to not be sexy, but to be saved. So what we wear, even when we're called to minister, it matters. It matters. No, we as sisters, we can't hide our hips. We have them. How we were built, that's what the Lord gave us. But that should not be my selling point in the gospel. And we are not there to turn the men on. And I know that I might get in trouble for saying that. If they're turned on, then they just are. But that's not what we're there to do. We should be smelling pretty because that's what we do. Again, we are the fragrance. We are the fragrance.
There you go.
If you feel you need to beat your face a little bit, hey, put it on. Put it on. Look wonderful. Make it very clear from the very beginning that you're not in any way trying to be one of the brothers. You're not trying to be in the brothers club. You're just on an assignment. So do your assignment and then be gracious and then be grateful that the Lord has given you an opportunity.
Wait a minute. Y'all probably don't realize that y'all just had a workshop for free. Y'all just get a workshop for free. Right? That was for free. We have to put your Cash App up here. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And I mean, your words are so emphatic and it carries so much weight. Everything you just dropped right there, it would be something for any aspiring female that is coming into ministry. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
well, I pray so, and I pray that every woman would seek a female mentor. My very first mentor starting in ministry was a man, and I bless the Lord for him. Reverend Blair, may the Lord bless his soul. But he was big on being who I was, that I did not have to prove myself. And as I've gone on in life, I have been blessed to be connected to many, many women on every level of ministry that I've ever operated in. And it was a major blessing. Now, some of them are feisty. They fired up. They'll cut your head off and hand it to you. And I'm okay. That's not my style. That's not my style. I'm very comfortable in the space that I'm in. But I believe as women of the gospel, I think that we should be some of the kindest, some of the gentlest. I'm still okay with the brother opening the door for me at the sanctuary, and I will wait. And I will wait on him. I will slow up a few steps to wait on him. I don't miss the opportunity to say thank you, because I believe that I'm teaching other young women and instructing them even when I'm not ministering the word. I encourage my young sisters in the Lord. I pat them on the back. Hey, you're doing a good job. You're doing great. You're doing wonderful. Be encouraged. But I thank God because so many women have been very bitter because of how they've been treated and how they've been mishandled. And there is some bad press because some women have been treated badly. They really have. They've been overlooked and ignored. They have. But I don't want to spend time on the negative things. I want to applaud some of those brothers tonight who have stuck their neck out on the line. I mean, literally for the sisters, and have not backed down. I applaud them because some of them are marching in spaces where other brothers would have stepped down. So I applaud them. This is a team battle. It's a team. And I believe it's important that we continue to observe it as a team.
Listen, that was prolific what you just said, especially for those that have taken chances on having women in ministry sit in their pulpit. You know, traditionally that has not been the case. God bless you again, Barbara Bacon. Roosevelt Hamilton, I see you. Bishop Fred Jackson, God bless you. Gary, Indiana, we're going to be making your announcement in just a little bit. If I could, Sylvia Coleman, I see you out there. God bless you. I want you all to like and share tonight because she has a word. Reverend Evans was one of the first Baptist ministers here in the city of Chicago that I knew of that let a woman pastor sit in his pulpit and make she was his announcer for their broadcast for a number of years. Now, he was Baptist and she was Pentecostal. Come on.
Wow.
Okay. And
I love it.
And he was of this point, and I'm gonna let you come back in. When we go to your church, we're gonna do it your way. When you come here, you liable to be sitting next to her because she's gonna be sitting next to me. If you got a problem with that, there's several seats out there, and feel free to sit in any one that you like. He had no problem with her, and he respected what the institution did. But when you came to fellowship, that's what was going on.
Wow.
Okay. Let's go there.
Wow.
So, Pastor, how did you know you were called?
Well, when I was a youngster, I got to tell you, I didn't see women in ministry. I began to have a burden for the gospel. I would be walking to middle school and I'd just be preaching and preaching. And I mean, my very first congregants were trees, birds, and squirrels. Okay. But I had a burden. I had a burden, and I couldn't shake it. I could not shake it. Preachers didn't run in my family, so this was not my dad was a preacher or my uncle. I mean, later years, my brother became a preacher. I have an uncle that pastored, a cousin, a couple of cousins, but at that time, at 13, there were no preachers in my family, not immediate, not extended, and definitely no women, definitely not. So I was very, very afraid, but I heard the Spirit. I heard the Spirit of God begin to speak to me, to preach the gospel, literally preach the gospel. And I said, I've never seen a woman do that. I've never acknowledged that I've seen, I have not seen any woman preach. And so it was very disheartening for me because I said, how do I preach when there's nobody looking like me? Well, I started out being a speaker for the General Baptist State Convention. And I'll never forget it because after I spoke, many of the male preachers came to me and they made comical jokes. They said, really? Wow, if I didn't know better, I would have thought that you preached. You almost preached. You had a word. Oh my God. Yeah. And I mean, and you were tuning up and everything. And I left that event. It was held that particular year in Muskegon. And I left and I went home and I began to cry. I cried all of the way from Muskegon to Detroit. I said, Lord, there's no way that I could be called to do this while all of these people are making fun of me. And I couldn't understand as a child, if God is calling me to this, why is it that the people that I'm supposed to be on their team, they don't want me on the team? I couldn't understand that. But I had a very, very supportive mother. I had a very, very supportive grandfather who would always encourage me. And my grandfather was an old school chairman of the deacon board down south. So they didn't have women preaching, but he would always tell me whenever we talked, he would say, give me a word, preach to me. And so he helped me to overcome feeling rejected.
Right.
But it was a challenge. It was definitely a major challenge. And if it had not been for a few people that just believed in me, and then when I was originally licensed, I was licensed in the Primitive Baptist Church. My pastor at that time, Reverend Bobby Jackson, and he said to me, I'm not afraid to license you. I am not afraid to license you. I was afraid for him. I was afraid for him because I knew the rejection that he was going to experience. And I didn't want him to experience the rejection. And then a few years later, I went to Cedar Grove Baptist Church, and the late P.L. Motley ordained me in the Baptist Church. And at that time, it was unheard of. There were no women on staff. So we didn't have women on staff. And I got to tell you, one of the biggest burdens was not having a role model, not having anybody to say, this is how you handle this, or that is how you. I didn't have anybody to do that for me. I had no one. All I had was Jesus and the word that I had hidden in my heart. And I knew the promise that God had made me in his word. And I was confident in it. But it was very difficult to climb those hurdles when I saw what was happening. And it was happening from people in the church. I'd walk by, and on my way to the pulpit, as I said, there were many times I was stopped. So I'd sit on the front row. And by this time, my younger brother was ministering. They would readily accept him and welcome him to the pulpit and tell me to sit on the first row. But I had no animosity against him because I realized it wasn't his fault. It was not his fault. And but I'm going to tell you, one of the biggest blessings that I've had in ministry was an older woman came to me at a church where I was ministering. And she said, you do not remember me. Many years ago, I sat in the audience. You were a young woman at this church. You were scheduled to preach, and my pastor wouldn't allow you in the pulpit. Wow. And I said, I what? She said, but I was so impressed with how you handled it. She said, because believe it or not, I knew at that time that the Lord had called me to minister the word. Woo, that woman shook me. And even until today, when I think about it, I'm still so overwhelmed because I didn't realize that what I was going through at the time, I thought all of that was about me. But in fact, the Lord was using me to be a forerunner to help some other woman that was lying in wait, saying, I can't do this. And I showed up to show her that she could.
All of that. That's just, listen.
All of that.
I think we have a clip of you ministering. I'm going to see if our engineer can get that up. Okay. That was just, that had to have been a powerful moment of even confirmation that, and I know everyone doesn't agree. There you go.
And I know our theme is.
So we got a little bit ways to go. Come on through here.
The juicy stuff. In the name of Jesus, let it pretty and our pastel colors.
I think she's a little bit. Oh, there we go.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. When you take that picture, just say word, word. So just quickly move from where you are. Don't be stingy, don't be mean. If somebody come to you, just give what you got. Your your social page. We would certainly be so appreciative for that. There you go. Pause on, Sharice. There you go. Those that are watching on the platform, we ask now if you would just tag and share. Just simply tag and share. Yeah, tell them to smile. Tell them to smile. All seeds are blessed in Jesus' name. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. There you go. There you go. There you go. Take the picture. Take the picture.
Listen, that was just a little bit of you, Pastor Scott. I've asked you this before, and I'm going to ask you again. We're going to have to get a date that you don't have a commitment on a Thursday night, and I need to get you back here to co-host the entire show with me. Your voice is so powerful, and it resonates so far out. Walter Howard, I see you out there, one of Chicago's finest. Carol out there in DC, you know my heart is with you. I look forward to seeing you in just a little bit. Pastor Scott, let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
There's a couple of things that's going on in the kingdom, and then I know you're going to have to run. When you need to correct someone in ministry that is under you, when do you decide if it's open rebuke or if it is a private rebuke? We have a thing going on now where when people fall or they fall short, it's in social media and people get canceled because they made a mistake. God forbid, you caught in a human moment. Can I give you a human moment of mine? And I might have shared this before. My mother was alive, and she was sitting in the front room. Y'all hear me well. I want y'all to hear this. And I was walking around with no shoes on, and I hit my toe on the side of the bed, and I let out a S like Sam Baum. Y'all know what that is. I did.
Yes, sir.
And my mother, being who she was, in another room, this is what she said. I heard that. I heard that. I heard that. I heard that. And even in my moment of humanity, I'm sorry, Mama. I hurt my toe. And you know what she said? I heard that. What really mean is I don't need to hear that. I know what happened. But when is it open rebuke and when is it private? With this cancel culture that we have right now. Listen, everybody like and share. I want you to hear what she got to say because she has a voice that resonates.
Well, I will be honest with you. In almost 20 years of pastoring, I have to honestly say that over time, my view or my perception on correction has changed. Now, I know the old church, and I've done it, where individuals in the ministry have been set down for actions that were clearly against against other individuals. But now I will say this. There is never anyone that has ever been reprimanded in a public situation that we did not deal with it privately a number of times. Just as on a job, there is a process to being fired. I believe so should it be in the house of God. First of all, when the action occurs, I call the person in. This infraction has occurred. Where are we? And when I say we, I'm talking about me and the individual, because now at this point, I want to make it very clear that they are not walking through whatever the offense has been alone, okay? Because I'm not throwing them away because of their action. And there has been some terrible things over the years, not just as a pastor, but even as an associate. But now, what are we going to do? Where are we? Well, first of all, I need to hear from the horse's mouth in all truth. Okay.
There we go.
Because this is what I believe. We're not trying to banish you away from the church. We want to address what has happened and move swiftly towards healing. Swiftly towards healing. Not treat you as a rejected or an individual that is left out there to battle this on your own. So there are some processes in that. Number one, I need to hear from you. Okay. Now, you can't be honest with me if you can't be honest with you. If you can't be honest with yourself, I don't care how bad it is. Since I've got to walk this with you, I need all the facts. All right. So I need you to tell me what happened. What were you guilty of? I don't want to hear about what they say. I want you to tell me what you're guilty of. Now, there is no greater punishment because you told the truth. Now it helps me to know how to address it. After we get all of the facts together, it makes a difference if this person, number one, what level of ministry they're operating in. Number two, if they are single or married. Because now, if you're not going to be an operation, now we've got to address, well, what are you going to say to your spouse? Now, understand there is a house rule. If a person is not in operation, you have no right to approach that person and say what happened. If that person chooses to share, it is his or her choice, but it is not the right of anybody in the body to come and to begin to inquire. You just need to know that your role is to pray and to be encouraging. That's it, and that's all. So now, depending on the role of the individual in ministry and what the infraction is. Now, if we're talking about a sexual matter between two adults, that's one level. We're talking about a sexual matter involving an adult and a child. Now we're on another level. We must contact authorities. We cannot leave that out there. But even in that, I'm walking through it with you. I'm walking through it with you. Even if that means that I'm going to be beat down as the pastor while I cover you while you walk through, I'm okay. I'm perfectly okay because now I got to walk you through this. Now, during that time of non-operation, they are asked that we would regularly meet once every week, once every other week for prayer, for support, for encouragement. They are still expected to attend church and be in support of the other ministries of operation. Okay.
That's part of the restoration.
Absolutely. Now, in some cases, a therapy is suggested because the action was something, in fact, that was a result of things that have never been resolved. Okay. It could be a short temper. You're a great worker, but you're cutty, you're cutting people off, you're causing more harm than good. There is a need for some therapy. There may even be some chemical imbalances where medication may be needed. The only public statement that I am making is during this time, we are in support of Brother John Doe, of Sister Mary Doe. It is our duty to pray and to cover them. If you are uncomfortable due to the incident, so therefore you are unable to pray or cover them, then we ask that you remove yourself because we're not kicking them out because of their infraction. Because if we get rid of them, where do they go? Where do they go? And so over the years, my heart has had some changing. And of course, as we get older, we look at things differently. Right. Of even the whole process of the sitting down. The sitting down, yes, it was a time to look at what you did, evaluate it, and improve. But if I'm sitting you down, I'm making a mockery of you. I'm using you as the pulpit example. I'm leaving you there on your own. You are not being restored. I believe the kingdom of God, we are called to restore and to renew. That was our kingdom assignment. You're making disciples. That's what the book of St. Matthew says. So therefore, we need to restore and renew. The problem is it depends on who you are in the kingdom if you are able to be restored. if I like you, if you are a major contributor, if what you do, nobody else in the ministry can do it, then we push it under the rug. You're not being healed. And so often we just walk around broken, fractured, wounded, because what we understand is even if I expose myself, you're not going to help me. You're not interested in my healing. You're more interested in being the first person to put it on a social platform. So we cannot, as the body, we cannot keep throwing people away. Okay, so maybe they stole some money from the church. Well, wait a minute. Okay, you can't be on finance, but let's deal with why did you steal? Maybe you've had a habit of stealing anyway. Now we got to dig into this, but I don't kick you out of the church. No, I don't leave you over the finances, but I don't kick you out. I need to dig in to see what's happening, what's going on with you, because there may be some other things. Okay, this person had a physical altercation in the church. Why did that occur? It is so easy to say how we should behave. But for the most part, when we are promoted in the church from level to level, there is no psychological evaluations done. Help
Just
me,
come
Holy
on.
Ghost.
Just come on.
We don't dig into what's going on in the household and how is it working. We don't do any of those things, but we're trying to move them up. When there's ordinations in my ministry, especially for anyone that is married, there are some things such as, are you gainfully employed? I know you want to be in ministry full time, but you got a wife and 3 kids. So you might work a job you don't like, but you need to keep going to that job because your family is your first ministry. That is your first ministry. So I need to find out, what can I do as a pastor to be a supporter of you? How can I help you? Okay, you got a young preacher running all over the place. He's taking all of these engagements. He's not following protocol. Wait a minute. Before you kick him out, and I had an incident all over the place. Okay, let's sit down and let's talk about this. Why did you feel like you couldn't tell me? Well, okay, now you feel like you're ready to go. Now let's talk about why I didn't release you to go. Because of this spirit. Because I knew some of the places that you were going, they were not safe places. Because I believed that you needed to have more preparation. Because yes, you're going to minister. This is true. But even the garments that you need to wear, you can't even afford to purchase those garments. So now we got to work on you having some suitable income so that you can invest in your own ministry.
Pastor Scott, you literally have just preached and ministered. I mean, I don't even know that's. I knew who I was inviting on here, and I said to you all, her words resonate. I know she's called by God. Listen, let me make a couple of acknowledgments. I want to acknowledge Minister Reginald Ayers. I know you know who that is.
He's out yes.
There. Yes, he just said hello.
Hey, Reggie.
And I see my brother Fritz. There's a Sunshine Love that said hello, Bishop. I think that's someone from Detroit.
Yes, that's one of my babies. Yes.
James Williams, Eric Gates, God bless you. Jay Hemingway. We've got so many fine people. Pastor Scott, I know your time is limited. Let me ask you, where is your church? What are your service times? And how can you be contacted on social media?
My church is in Detroit. We are 3310 Puritan. 3310 Puritan. We are in the University of Detroit district area. Our service times are Sundays at 2:30. You can follow me on social media platforms. Dora Scott on Facebook, Dr. Dora Scott everywhere else, on Instagram, on YouTube. I'm all over the place. TikTok. I'm even on TikTok. So Dr. Dora Scott, that's all you need. Please click in and follow. I am the preacher that I believe in Christ and a couch. Some of us need both. Most of us need both. All of us need both. Yes, sir.
I love it. Unadulterated and raw and uncut. It just doesn't get any better than that. Pastor Scott, thank you for sharing with me tonight. I'm going to ask you in front of everybody. I know you're not a woman that won't tell the truth. Will you come back and do a whole show with me, please?
Oh, absolutely, my friend. I love it. I am so honored that you would think of me to allow me to share my insights and pour in. I do live by this. People don't have to be nice. And if they are, they don't have to be nice to you. So I am appreciative for your kindness. And I pray the blessings of the Lord over the work of your hand. And we've got to get you and the group back here to Detroit. Man, the last time you all came, I mean, when they said come through the sunshine and the rain, y'all came on through. Chicago came on through the storm and got here. And if they will allow me to say it this way, you all wrecked us. So we got to get you guys back here again with some good traditional music. And I promise you it's going to be sooner than later. I promise you that.
Well, praise the Lord. Absolutely. Thank you. And God bless you, Pastor Scott. We look forward to seeing you again.
Bless you.
God bless you. Listen, you heard all that right here with Ramon Perry and According to Your Faith, the Gospel Show. Stellar Award winning right here in Alsop streaming live. Listen, we've got a couple of commercials and we've got another great guest. And I've got some special announcements. Leon, I see you out there. Don't go anywhere. Like and share this musical, spiritual experience.
What's up, everybody? I'm so excited. Same magazine, but we have renamed it and is rebranded. It's entitled The Gospel Music Gazette. It's a journey and a journal of a lifetime. Gospel music history at its best. Get your copy of our first edition. Enjoy.
Got a sweet tooth for some cheesecake? Look no further than Ella Lee's Treats. We are the leaders in cheesecake cuisine. Whether your favorite is key lime, German chocolate, butter pecan, or the seasonal eggnog, Ella Lee's Treats has the cheesecake to wow your next event. Get one for yourself or gift one to a loved one. Large cheesecakes available, but only by pre-order. Soothe your sweet tooth with a cheesecake from Ella Lee's Treats. Order yours now at ellaleestreats.com. Email to ellaleestreats@gmail.com or call 779-206-5044.
You heard that right here with Ramon Perry and According to Your Faith, the Gospel Show. There should be a flyer for Brother Eric Kirk. I don't know if we were able to get that. He was on our show a couple of weeks back. He's got a great event coming up on the 1st. Let's see if we can get that. I think I sent it to Reverend Morris. But listen, oh, there we go. 4th anniversary celebration. Eric Kirk and True Worship presents our 4th year celebration, 2 Corinthians experience. Now he's got guests coming this weekend. This is the first. Brother Anthony McGahee and Praise Motivated. I saw them a couple of weeks back and they are absolutely incredible. Our brother Boyce Hudson, Sierra Deal, Shamika Atkins, Pastor DeAndre Patterson, the Hoskins family, and the host will be Evangelist Janice Sutton. Now, this is a free service, no admission charge. Let me see if I can see that address. It's right under the ticker. I can't see it, but if you guys were, oh, there we go. Gospel Temple Missionary Baptist Church, 1958 West Washington Boulevard, Chicago, Illinois. Host, Pastor Reverend Marvell Beckham. I've been over there before. Listen. Let's go and support this young man doing a great job in gospel. Bishop Fred Jackson. The church anniversary is coming up. Church anniversary, pastor appreciation, 31 years of service at True Foundation Church in Gary, Indiana. I served under this ministry. I was introduced to praise and worship under this ministry. It took me to a new level. He poured into me and ministered into me. He covered me, and he still does to this day. Bishop Jackson, we salute you on 31 years of service. It's going to take place October 16th in Gary at True Foundation Church. I believe that's 47th and Pierce. I think I've got that address right. I drove there many weeks right here from Chicago, and he was just on here. Listen, I've got some of Ministry and Praise alumni in here tonight. I am just so honored. We're going to be doing a service. Our flyer isn't ready. It'll be ready next week on, November 5th. November 5th. We're going to do a reunion musical along with Brother Tim Brown and True Praise Chorale. He's putting the True Praise Chorale back together for this one night. And Will Smith Jr. and RVC. And we're going to sing separate. We're going to sing together. And we're going to do a salute to the late Dr. Brenda Joyce Moore. I believe somebody said Stephanie was in this room. Stephanie, let's see. I don't know. I don't see in the comments. Maybe she's tipped in here. Stephanie and Reggie Ayers started Ministry and Praise with me. I don't even remember how long ago it was, but we started together, and it's been an experience. It's been a ride, and they are charter members of Ministry and Praise. We're going to invite some of the older choir members. It's going to come back. Carol is coming from DC. Sterling is coming from Atlanta. Leon is going to drive up, and we're going to have to get a limousine to bring him. Listen, I want to play a clip. We did something a couple of years ago. And it was right before the pandemic hit. I'm going to see if Reverend Morris can get that little piece queued up. All right, that's enough, Reverend. I can't take no around my house. I got to get Sal Butler on the stage. Listen, you all get ready. It's going to be at Messiah Temple on the 5th of November, Saturday at 5 o'clock. We're going to start it early. Sal Butler, come on in here. I'm ready for y'all. Want to get your finances together. You need to be responsible. You want a little ministry. He plays the saxophone. He does it all. This is my friend, my brother for life.
Yes,
Minister
sir.
Sal Butler, thank you for being patient. I didn't know that Pastor Scott, the Lord just started talking and we couldn't do anything about it, but we got room and time for you tonight. But you all remember, I think I saw Danielle out there, Danielle Jones, God bless you, Ministry and Praise. I want y'all to just send me some hearts right here before we bring Brother Sal up. We're going to talk to him. He's going to share some great information. Ministry, I want to see you all just throw me a few hearts out there. Everybody that's listening, let me see some heart. I see Brother James Williams. Carol, send me some hearts from DC. Listen, if you've never heard another prolific voice, you're getting ready to hear one now. Minister Sal Butler and I got connected some years back, and he is literally a man of God 24 hours. He ain't got no agenda. He's going to bring it to you. He sounds like a pastor, and I know the Holy Ghost is on him, and I know he's led by the Lord. He's a family man, and he's in ministry. He's a musician, and the Lord has gifted him to share information on how to keep your finances together. Sal, say hello to everybody. Tell us about yourself, your church affiliation, and let's get going. Let's talk about it.
What's good? What's going on, my brother, Ramon Perry? The Ramon Perry, the Stellar Award winner, Ramon Perry Show. Man, I am so honored to be on your show. I am so delighted to know you, man. And I'm first and foremost, as the church saints to say, first giving praise. First, I want to praise you for what you have done and what you're doing, man. You have not come off the wall as Nehemiah. He said, I'm going to build this wall and I won't come down. So keep going, man. I want to salute you and and congratulate you on your award once again. You are doing great things, and eyes have not seen, no ears have heard, nor either into the heart of man God has stored for you, because there is more for you. There's more. All right, so get into it. I got to get it to you. I'm so proud to know you, man. And yeah, so I'm from Nazarene All Nations Church. I am an assistant pastor there. I've been there all my life. I was birthed there. My uncle is now the pastor/bishop there. Was before him. He was the pastor/bishop before his death. And I'm excited about the Lord. I have a family, wife, and all girls, so pray for me on that one. And I love doing what I do. I love ministry. I love helping people. So, and I'm excited for being on your show as well.
Sal, you have another endeavor that the Lord has put on your hands. There's another assignment. The Lord has given us these bodies to be good stewards over, right? We got to take care of these bodies because they all on loan, right?
Oh, yes.
But we also have to be good stewards over our finance.
Absolutely.
I want you to talk about that.
Yeah, so just this year, I resigned from my CPS job. I was there for 4 years, and I did music teacher. I did teacher assistant, dean, you name it, sub. I did everything in the CPS for those years, but the Lord called me off the job to do this even greater work. Actually, I've been a licensed insurance agent for over 16 years.
Wow.
And I got a greater call this summer to move into this even deeper and further, because our people, unfortunately, our race of people, and I say African American, whatever you want to call it, our title, is that we're sometimes behind. Some of us are behind. A lot of us are behind when it comes to the financial world and being financially literate. So I felt like I wasn't taught, and my parents wasn't taught, and their parents wasn't taught, and it was just passed down from one generation to the next. And I said, it got to stop now, because when you know better, you can do better. And that's
Absolutely.
what I've been doing. I've been moving, preaching, and helping so many people just in a short period of time. And I'm looking to touch the masses from the city of Chicago to the suburbs, and I'm licensed in 5 other states. So yes, I'm passionate about financial literacy, and I want our people to understand how to become financially literate.
Just in short, what are some of the basic things that we can do? Someone's gonna say, "I'm good. I got a 401k. I'm straight. I'm all good," and you're gonna say what?
Yeah. How well do you know that? How well do you know how that works? How's it working for you right now? Ins and outs about 401ks. Do you know right now they're losing a lot of money right now? Do you know how to stop it? I got a couple questions to ask you if you have one. But the number one thing I would ask is, or tell someone, is that it starts in the mind. Financial literacy starts in the mind. The Bible says, "So as a man thinketh, so in his heart, so is he." You got to start thinking differently. You got to think like the wealth and the rich think, not wickedly, but you can think on how to treat money and how to handle money. And that's what I want. That's what I've been pushing and preaching to people, how to think wealthy, because we think poor mindset, we will be poor. Life and death is in the power of our tongue. We speak poor things and we continue to stay poor. We stay in the state that we're in. There's one thing to say that I can afford this. There's another thing to say, how can I afford this? How can I be wealthy, or I'll never be wealthy? Those are two different mindsets, but yet using one main word.
So when somebody says, okay, when you say that, and someone says, well, my financial planner told me just hang in there, don't sell, just let it stay, it's gonna turn back around. What do you say to that?
Well, I mean, that's good that you have a financial planner. Most people don't. But if you trust that process, and if they can give you any guarantee, which they won't be able to give a guarantee, they can speculate, then I would say that if they haven't proved me wrong, then you may want to stay with them. But I would like to see some guarantee. I would like to see, what is your plan for my money? If you have no guarantee, then you may want to find something safe, something that's guaranteed for your money. And there are plans out there that are safe and guaranteed, that you won't have to worry about ever losing money. those are risky plans that you're in. And there's nothing wrong with risk because life is a risk. But, it's just how much of a risk are you willing to take?
How much
And are you going to lose everything that you gain or work so hard to gain?
So can you tell us what one of the plans are? Can you just give us an idea of
Sure.
what an alternative is?
Yeah, so there's plans where there are safety nets or they have a ground wherein your money would never ever lose. It dropped to this percentage, and but it never go below where people are losing money. You'll never lose money, and you can also get the rewards of the gains in the market where they can go 10, 11, 12% on it. Now there's that with that type of plan. It doesn't go as maybe 15, 20%, but we haven't seen those type of numbers in quite some time. But you at least get the gains of 15, 20% on your money that you put into it, you contribute to it.
So how long have you been into finance in terms of financial planning for the future, Brother Sal?
Okay, I believe I understood your question. I've been licensed for 16 years. Here's the kicker part. I would watch my counterparts, Caucasians and other ethnic groups, wherein they would go to different homes and they will go and find money where people were and start investing to products wherein they can gain money or their money worked for them. I went to the same, had the same license and had the same business, but when I went to our people, we didn't have that type of opportunity because we didn't have the money to put into that. A lot of people that I ran into, a lot of them, not tied into a 401k. Most of them have it maybe into a savings account. They may have into a IRA. They may have it into a credit union or somewhere like that. But now I have an opportunity, and there's a product wherein anyone can get started with a product that can gain money for them, and not just do one product. It would mean do a life insurance. A lot of them just do a life insurance, but there's a product out there like annuity that are out there.
Annuities,
safe,
yep.
Very, very safe, and they give you a floor which says that, hey, I don't care how bad the market does, you will get this amount of money regardless, and your money will always work for you. Never lose any money. Bottom out, and I have many people, friends that had me look at their statements, and I'm showing them clearly they know that they're losing money.
Yeah, especially right now because everything is turned down right now, and it does turn up. But like you said, there's some consistency with the other plan. I want you to let us know exactly how you can be reached, Sal, because I want our people to be educated and comfortable and safe and financially stable. I believe that's part of the abundant life that God speaks about, because they keep changing the system so much. Most of us are on this one plan and end up working till we are almost 70 years old, because everything keeps changing, and the downturn in the market affects what we're going to get. So how can you be reached? What is your handle? God bless you, Donald Buster Woods. I see Sandra Butler's out there. She said, hello, nephew.
Hey, that's my auntie. Hey, so I can be reached several ways. I mean, you can. My first is I give out my phone number. I don't know if I'm gonna put it in the chat, or it's cell phone 773-425-2010. You can email me at Sal Sachs Jr. SALSAXJR @gmail.com. You can Facebook. I'm reachable by my name, Sal Butler Jr. You can shoot me a message in my inbox. Instagram on Instagram with the same name, also on TikTok as well. So any of those outlets you can reach me on directly.
So Sal, when we go off, I want you to go into the comments, if you would, and put your handle and how you can be reached. I don't normally endorse much, but I believe in what he is doing, and there are a lot of people that do this, but this is literally a safe space right here with Brother Sal. And if anybody is interested in seeing at least what your options are for the future, especially when you get around our age, I think Sal is about 10, 15 years older than me, but nonetheless, when you have to think about your future, you have children, you have grandchildren, Do you want to work till you're 70 because you have to? How do you want to live? We got to start thinking about that. Leon is out there. Leon knows exactly what I'm talking about. We have to prepare. Brother James Williams got his own business. We have to prepare, and we don't want to be subject to the marketplace the entire time. Here, listen, he's also a musician. Let's look at this. Sound. We had something going with the sound. Sal, tell us what that was. You were playing the saxophone, the Star Spangled Banner for one of the Bulls games. Is that right?
I'm sorry. Yes, I was playing the national anthem for the Bulls versus the Bucks in Milwaukee. This was March 22nd of this year.
I don't know. We couldn't get that to play, but I really wanted to have them see that you're not only a minister, you're not only a financial planner, you're definitely a father, and you're also an awesome musician. So I'm gonna ask you in front of everybody. Sal is going through a little something right now. He's in transition a good way. And I want you to, when your schedule permits, I want you to come back and co-host an entire shoa with me. Would you be willing to do that, Brother Sal?
Man, you already know. Absolutely, man. It's an honor. Yes.
Well, listen, beloved, we're about to leave the airways. Sal, please put your information in the chat on how you can be reached. For those of you all that want to see some options about how you want to live and how you want your money and your dollars to work for you. Listen, I want to say this one more time. I want everybody to mark your calendars for November 5th at 5 p.m. when Ramon Perry will present 3 United. That's going to be us, Tim Brown, RVC. We're going to do a tribute to Brenda Moore at Messiah Temple, 104th and Halsted. Ministry and Praise, I want y'all to get ready because I need y'all on camera with me. You all are going to be some of my guests, and we're going to be talking about good old times and showing some clips, and we're going to push this program. And in the meantime, I want you all to stay prayerful. Keep my cousin called Marcus Floyd before the Lord. I want you all to call the name Leonard Maddox before the Lord. Leonard is going through a little physical challenge right now, but we are believing God for him, that he's a healer. Remember the other announcements that we made tonight, Bishop Jackson and Eric Kirk, and we want to support everybody. I can't stay with you much longer. The old clock right there says it's time for me to check out of here. But MAPC, I need you all with me. I need you on camera with me. I'm going to have you all. Come on, Leon, get ready. Get ready, Carol. Get ready, because I'm going to get you on camera. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to get Brother Reggie back, and I want to thank Pastor Doris Scott from Detroit, Michigan, and again, my brother Sal Butler, who can be of help to you to be more financially stable and have your finances in order for the future. Sylvia, Denny, Barbara, I thank you guys and Roosevelt for being faithful and helping me make this happen. These are the people that work behind the scenes to keep things going. Listen, I love you. Meet me next Thursday at 7 p.m. right here with Ramon Perry. And according to your faith, we got exciting guests on next week. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Barbara.
Views made on the preceding program are not those of WVTC Radio, iNetworks Communications, or their financial supporters.
Winning victory through Christ, WVTC Allsip Chicago. And